Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. V back with another casted game of Age of Empires 3, another recording sent to us directly by the one, the only, the illustrious Shake 2020. Love featuring this guy on the channel, love his style of play. He's in the north of the map playing in the color blue as the Swedes. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, Shake is one of the few higher level players I see that is playing Sweden consistently, which is sad because I really like Sweden. They're one of my top 3 civs. However, I hardly ever play them because I cannot win with these guys on the ladder. Meanwhile, Shake picking up 100 food from the 2 blowgunner treasure. That is such a good treasure to pick up, especially since in melee, blowgunners do such little damage that you can take that treasure without really any consequence. But anyways, Sweden is just in a tough spot because, I don't know whether it's the fact that their torp economy is a little too slow, or their unit variety isn't great, or their builds are all just kind of meh versions of other builds that other civs do better. But Swedes are in a tough spot, and if anybody can win with them, Shake is the guy I'm going to put my money on. But enough dilly-dallying. Let's look at his opponent in the south of the map in the color red, playing as the Russians. We have Real Perez. So we kind of have a battle of the Northerners here. Actually, I didn't know this until recently. Historically, Russia and Sweden used to be like huge rivals in the Baltic. I think it was like in the 1600s. They fought a ton of wars because Sweden back then actually had a really, really big empire. Now, eventually, Russia kind of won just due to, numbers and allies and Sweden kind of running out of resources. But really cool piece of history and being played out in the rainforests of South America, which is not historically accurate. But here we are, the Battle of the North. Who will be king of the North? The Russian player Perez sending Distributism as his first card, very, very standard. Meanwhile, Shake going for another treasure, 100 XP, and has already sent his 3 settlers. So really, really classic start for both players here. Both players getting those hunts in. I really don't like rainforest maps because I do not like the herdables on these maps. The capybara, the tapir, I just think they're so annoying and they don't have a lot of food and they run all over the place. Not as bad as they used to do in vanilla where they would just straight up not go where you wanted. And meanwhile, we have a treasure contention. Oh no, the Russian bear, Grigory Lomonosov. I think he's gonna steal it. Oh no, Shake gets away with the 100 XP. Probably gonna lose his explorer though. Gonna be a worthwhile trade. I thought the Russian bear was gonna take it. That is an amazing skin. But we do see the 3 forward settlers coming for Russia. So the blockhouse is going to be happening. We are going to see H2 aggression. And I think that was the most predictable thing to see from Perez here. And it just makes the most sense, right? If you can trap Sweden in H2 and get those really valuable trades with those really cost-effective Russian units, I think Perez is going to be in a really good spot. So going to get that blockhouse down in actually a pretty nice location. And Shake, as of now, has not seen it. So we'll see what early damage Perez can do. Meanwhile, Shake getting a lot of wood in transition, which is also very standard. And what is he using that wood for? I don't see. Oh, okay. Putting more torps down. Oh, I can hardly see these in the corner. These blend in. Wow. If you're not looking closely, you're not going to be able to see these. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but that is very, very clever. So getting down a couple of torps in transition and immediately sending dominions. So going to be getting those 4 torps down right away and going with a stable start, which I think is actually smart for Sweden. He also gets the outposts, so gonna give him a little extra defense, protect these forward hunts a little bit. But I think Hussars is a good start. I think going Karelians, you're just gonna get mashed if Russia sends a 13 Strele card or even trains 10 Strele. So going double double Caroline here, or even single Caroline, is just not the answer. So I think getting out some Hussar, you know, you're gonna have to deal with the recruits, but they're pretty weak. And it looks like, ooh, is Perez gonna be able to see where these wagons go? That would be really good. No, he's not gonna scout it. So, well, okay, he's putting 2 on this forward mine here, which is fine. And he's getting 2 on this mine as well. So already at, wow, 70 torp pop before the 6-minute mark. I think that's pretty good for Sweden. I'm not sure, because like I said, I don't play Sweden that often. But meanwhile, what do we see from Perez? 700 wood coming down right away. That's interesting. So he's not going with 5 Cossack immediately. Not going with 13 Strele, not even sending it as his second card either. He's going 700 wood, 700 coin. Oh, that is really... I kind of like that. So what I think Perez is doing here is I think he's going for more of a restraining build. He's not going to try to push in right away. He's just going to try to keep Sheikh bottled up, right? So with that 700 wood, he's going to get the trading post. And I wouldn't be surprised if he throws down another blockhouse, like maybe around here. Tries to seal off this side of the map and maybe even keep a close eye on these coin mines, which if that's his plan, and then maybe follow it up with like an age 3 timing, it could be really good. Definitely going to throw Sheikh off a little bit, because I think Sheikh slammed down these 5 Hussars in anticipation of the push by Russia, and there's no push coming. Meanwhile, he's getting Karelians and more Hussars, so Sheikh is going all in on this age 2 play, which I don't know if that's the call, but he's going to see the 600 coin, or sorry, 700 coin, so he's going to know something is up. Maybe going to pick up a villager as well. No, not quite. Maybe? Nope. Perez doing a really good job with his villager control. And these 5 recruits coming to kind of try to ward off those 5 cav. He did decide to put the blockhouse right next to this other one, which makes sense. It's going to mean he can get easier reinforcements. But I do kind of want to see him eventually try to plug up this side of the map, especially if he can block this coin mine here. From Sheikh. That could be really, really effective. But more Hussar, more Karelians coming out from Sheikh. Meanwhile, it looks like Perez is going to seal this side of the TP line. So could be getting Stagecoach on that as well with his 700 wood and 700 coin. Yeah, it looks like he did. He's getting coin in now from his trading posts. And now sending 5 Cossack, getting 5 recruits. So I like this move by Perez. Now, would it be better than the classic kind of really early unit push? I'm not sure, but I mean, it's working out for him so far. It's still pure Hussar, though I think there are a couple of, yeah, he's got a big mass of Karelians in the base here. So we'll see if Sheikh decides to push out. I think he's got to do something, right? He can't just allow himself to be bottled up by all of this Russian infrastructure. He's got to push out. He's got to maybe even kind of assault these blockhouses and take them out, especially so he can get on this coin mine here, this coin mine here, and then eventually he's going to want to branch out to, you know, this one and this one. He's already kind of going out to this one, but those are going to be very vulnerable. The Hussars getting into the base. Are they going to pick up a villager? There are a lot of exposed vills out here, but being chased down by the 5 Cossack. Now, those Hussar will win, but Minutemen joining the fight, and a really nice call by Perez. And that's actually going to be a decent trade, though Sheikh doing pretty good with his micro here. And looks like both men are going to be losing their armies, which actually I think that works pretty well for Perez. I mean, he took out 8 Hussar there for the cost of 5 Cossacks, which was a card, and a few Minutemen. That's a really good trade. But meanwhile, Sheikh is going up to the 3rd age. So going to be getting some pretty powerful shipments. He's got Falconets, he's got leather cannons, he's got Karelians, and he's got Karelian upgrades as well. He has not sent the Julius Stickbrook. I probably butchered that, which gives the artillery foundry. And he has not gotten an arsenal down yet. So these Karelians are still fairly weak. But he does now have double barracks. He's got plenty of infrastructure. He's got his market down. And he's starting to get some of his upgrades. And immediately slams down veteran Karelians. But look at this. Perez almost up to the 3rd age as well. So not going to be very far behind at all. He's currently at 29 vills to 24 for Sheikh. Though we do have to, you know, factor in the torp economy there for Sweden as well, which is at 150. So both players, I think, actually playing this matchup very, very well. And meanwhile, an artillery foundry is going down for Perez here. I wonder if he's going to slam down some early culverins. I think he's probably predicting a 2 Falk shipment and maybe some leather cannons from Shake, which in that case, culverins are actually going to be really, really effective. He's getting veteran recruits, but eventually, I mean, recruits are going to get outscaled hard by Caroleans. So I don't know how long he's going to want to go hard into building recruits. I think eventually he's got to start mixing in some Strele. He's switched his trading posts to wood. Maybe that's a sign that he's macroing for Strele. I think Strele is what you need, unless he's going to go with falconets of his own. But I don't think you want to go Musk artillery versus Sweden. I think they're going to beat you there. But we'll see. We'll see. Meanwhile, what is Shake doing? Any more cards to send? Nope. He sent 1,000 coin. What? Shake, you dirty devil. Are you going for age 4? Oh my God. That requires a sip of wine because I was flabbergasted. I cannot believe this dude is going for the industrial age. Are you serious? Shake, you are a man of boldness, sir. Well, let's see if it works out for him. I mean, Russia hasn't pushed in yet. Perez, for playing Russia, he's actually been very passive, which is not what you expect with a Russian player. But he's been playing this more kind of map control style, which I think was really good. But I'm wondering if at this point, him just kind of standing in the middle is almost playing to Shake's advantage. I mean, we got to think about the fact that Shake has been able to build his torp economy pretty much undisturbed this entire game. He's getting up to age 4. He's already got it queued in with the engineer. And if he's able to get out, I mean, factories and heavy cannons, it's not going to matter that Russia has a 6-7 vil lead. But there is a window here. Perez did just ship 2 falconets. They're going to be shipped forward to this blockhouse. He's got 2 Colves out as well, and he's got a lot of recruits. So I don't know. Maybe there's an opportunity here before Shake gets too strong, but it's got to come in the next minute. I mean, if some serious damage does not get done to Sweden in the next 60 to 120 seconds here, I don't know what Russia does. I mean, Russia playing in age 3 is already kind of awkward. Russia, age 3 is not really where you want to be as Russia. Now, granted, it's not as bad as it was in, like, say, vanilla, where Russia in age 3 was pretty garbage. But they're still not great in age 3. They don't scale until like the very, very late game. Russia doesn't scale that well in the mid game. So we'll see. Age 4 just coming in for Sweden now. Strele being added in for Russia, but a free volley on these falconets. Falk Wars incoming. Oh no. Oh, he's not going to see it. Is he going to lose both Falks? 2 Falks, 2 Colves of his own coming out for Shake. It is now 3-4. Now it's 3-3. Good pickup here by Perez's Culverins. Is he going to pick off the second one? He's going to get 1 shot on it. Okay, so now it's swung back in Russia's favor for the artillery duel, but now losing a Falconet and losing a Culverin. We have 2 Colves versus a Colve and a Falk. No! Just able to pick off that second Culverin. So Sweden winning the artillery duel decisively and now shipping the 2 heavy cannons, which is just going to be disgusting. Yeah, these 2 heavy cannons, they could kill this entire Russian army. If they were able to just sit and shoot, not even a problem. They would wipe out all this infantry and they wouldn't really even have to try. But now that they have a Culverin and a bunch of Caroleans, I would not want to be Russia right now. I think Perez, his window is starting to close, and I don't know if he's going to try to follow this up with an age up of his own. It certainly looks like he's macroing for it. I don't think it's going to be in time. He's going to lose both of these blockhouses. Probably going to lose this artillery foundry, but now he's getting out a ton of Culverins. 3 Culverins coming out now for Perez. Is he going to be able to get at those heavy cannons? That is such a huge investment. That is 1,500 resources worth of cannon, and he's going to take out one of the heavy cannons, maybe going to take out both. He is going to take out both of the heavy cannons, but now these culverins aren't really going to be effective against these Carolians, which do have the guard upgrade, and they are going to mince these recruits, and these Strelay are really not going to be able to do that much against this heavily upgraded heavy infantry. And yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good pickoff per Perez's part. He did get the 2 heavy cannons, though it did cost him 3 culverins. So no, I think that was good for Perez. Now that I'm really thinking about it. And we do have to consider the fact that Sheikh is pretty low on resources. He's got 31 vills to Perez's 41, though he does have a really big torp economy, 180 torp population. And I'm pretty sure every single one of those torps is on a coin mine. So they're all doing work. Meanwhile, these Carolians going for what looks to be a very wide flanking maneuver, but a batch of Strelay gonna catch them here. And this is what I'm talking about when I say the Russian units are very cost effective. Even if all of these Strelay are killed, if they were able to kill a decent batch of these Carolians, it'll be worth it. But we can see, look at the shots from the Strelay. They're hardly tickling these Carolians. It takes all of the Strelay just to knock out 1 or 2 Carolians, and meanwhile these Carolians just eating these Strelay alive. And I mean, they are cost effective, they are cheap, but you can't just throw them away. And I don't know. At this point, even veteran Strelay don't seem to be doing a lot. 3 culverins still alive, though they don't have a lot to shoot at this point. And we do see some recruits getting in the back of the base, trying to cause some trouble, but 2 falconets coming out for Sheikh now. And I really want to see him starting to slam down these factories. I think that's what would be a huge decider. He also has Svi Lifeguard. He has Omen Process. Yeah, he's still got like 3 Carolean upgrades he could be dropping. So we could see these Caroleans get even nastier, which is kind of scary to think about if you're Perez. But meanwhile, it's just a lot of maneuvering by both armies here. And I'm curious to see what Perez does here. It really looks to me like he's caught in this kind of middle decision where he wants to follow up Sheikh, but he doesn't know if he has, the time and the resources to do so and get away with it. Sending 13 recruits now. I guess he doesn't have a ton to send anymore. He's got refrigeration, he's got cavalry combat, he's got Strelay combat. That'd be pretty good. 1,000 wood. Yeah, he's kind of running low on his good cards. Though that 1,000 wood and Strelay combat would be pretty nice. And he's just running these culverins away. I think he's worried about more Swedish artillery coming out, so maintaining these culverins is actually really smart. And these little batches Strelay, even though they're not going to be able to kill many of these Caroleans, they're doing a decent job of just delaying Sheikh, right? I think what Perez is trying to do here is he's trying to give his superior economy time to catch up and maybe even get into H4. And if Perez is able to get into H4, that's really going to even this game out quite significantly. But Sheikh, even with just this smaller batch of Caroleans, he is still mopping up these Strelay. Just killed 20 Strelay, though I think all of his Caroleans are going to go down now. But if we look at the resources, this map is pretty high on food, so both players still doing fairly well, although Sheikh is starting to run out of safe hunts. So we'll see how far south he can move. Looks like he's going to move all the way down here, which is a little bit exposed, but he does have these torps to kind of warn him about any enemies incoming. Sending in Snaplock now. Still not sending his factories. I really want to see those factories hitting the floor. I think that would give him such a huge advantage. More Caroleans, and now Falconets hitting the ground, and Perez has got an arsenal. Oh, that's nice. Oh, man. No arsenal yet for... Oh, no. Sheikh does have his arsenal. I thought that was a church for a second. But the culverins all going down to the melee combat of the Caroleans, and now the Russian villagers are the ones that are being threatened here. And there are a lot of villagers back here. 15 vills all now not working. And my God, the siege on these Caroleans is almost as good as the siege on the Falconets. Come on, take out that other blockhouse. I thought he was going to leave that blockhouse. I was like, oh, Shake, don't do it. Yep, going to take out both those blockhouses. So, I don't know. Shake is still in a really good spot. And again, Perez just doesn't really know what to do with his resources. I really do think he wants to age. Like, he's floating at 2,100 food, 700 coin. Earlier, he was at like 1,000 food and 900 coin. I just think he wants to pull the trigger, but he doesn't feel like he can just yet. So we'll see what he does. I think he's going to go for age 2, or sorry, age 4. He certainly has the resources now. We're going to see it slam down any second. More Culverins coming out. And Strele combat coming in, but oh, that's a nasty villager raid. Oh, down to 42 vills. Shake is actually only at 30. So still a substantial advantage for Russia. And we're kind of starting to get to the point in the game where Russia starts to kind of climb its way back up in terms of scaling. I definitely don't think they're there yet, right? This isn't like age 4, spamming 50 Strele at a time Russia, which is just unbeatable. But if Shake doesn't do some lasting damage, if he is still behind in villagers, he could get there. But Perez is now in age 4, or at least he's aging up. Meanwhile, Shake sending platoon fire, so still not getting his factories, but on the other hand, his Caroleans are starting to get just absolutely jacked. 263 HP, 31 ranged attack. Or no, yeah, 31 ranged attack. That's absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. And at this point, I think they have veterancy, they have guard, they have snap lock, they have platoon fire, they have Svea lifeguard, and they probably have some arsenal upgrades. So, I mean, we're talking about Caroleans that have like half a dozen upgrades on them at this point. They're going to mince these Strele without even trying. They're not even fighting back. Oh my god, look at that. Just a couple Caroleans just insta-kill a Strele. There's about to be a lot of 6s on this map right now. But out come the 2 Falconets. This might help sway it. Falconets are still going to do well versus Caroleans, even highly upgraded Caroleans. Although, I don't know what these 2 Falconets are doing out here. They're just kind of rogue. And meanwhile, in comes the Culverin gang. And, well, I think we know who's going to win this fight. Yep. Okay. Maybe a little bit of a misuse of his Falconets there, but Shake is able to take out the 2 Falconets of the Russians, and now he's just using the superiority of his units. He's just kind of brute forcing his way through this base. And even though Perez has been making a lot of the counter units that he needs to make, it just doesn't matter because these units have like 6 upgrades on them. What are you going to do? Right? You going to make more veteran Strele? What are you going to make Cossacks? You know, if Falconets don't work, Russian infantry is not going to work. And once again, we see the Culverins just being chased down ruthlessly by these Caroleans. Oh my god, sit down. Oh, that was insane. But we do have to consider Perez is in age 4 now. And what does he have for age 4 cards? He actually doesn't have a lot. He has Strele Horde, he has his factories. So definitely not as much as Shake has. And Shake now sending blueberries and still not sending his factories. Oh my god, that's bugging me. And I shouldn't be judging. Shake is light years ahead of me and always will be, most likely. But come on, man, send your factories. Blueberries is still a good card. Just a little bit late. So now we have Guard Strele versus Guard Caroleans. And I'm going to be honest, I still think the Caroleans win quite handedly in terms of trading. And we've got a little bit of Torp harassment, but it's Strele, so that'll take him about 8 years. And is he just going pure Carolean? Is Shake making anything else at this point? He is making Hussar. Okay. So I like this. I like this this switch up. He's been seeing a lot of Strele and artillery out of his opponent. So I think going Hussar here is a really good pick. I think Musk Huss, this is like Musk Huss on steroids. And actually, versus Russia, I think it's going to work pretty well. We'll see if he goes for Guard Hussar. He doesn't really have enough to justify that expensive upgrade at this point. But if he keeps massing him up, I could see Guard Hussar coming in really handy here. And going to chase after this. Oh, no. Oh, Perez has got Oh, I thought those were cavalry archers. Yeah, Preachniks aren't gonna do much versus veteran Hussar. They're really not meant for cav combat. They're really meant as raiding and siege units. But with the help of some Strelae, they are probably still going to win this engagement. But the Karelians have to be on their way, right? Where's the Karelian army? Yeah, there it is. And they've got more veteran Hussar in reinforcement. Things are looking very scary for Russia here. I don't know what Russia does at this point. He just invested a lot of resources into aging. He's going pure Strelae, which is about to go very badly. Yeah, he's got no anti-cav at this point. Making Strelae, trying to slam down some cav archers now, sending a factory, about to lose a lot of villagers here. Oh no, the slaughter! The great villager slaughter of the 16 whatever in the rainforest versus the Russians and the Swedes. Very historically accurate here on the channel. We try to maintain that. But there's the GG from Perez, and I think that was a good call. I think he just missed his timing. I think he did a good job catching up. I think he made the right units, but you know, you let Swede get up to 180 torp pop, you let him get up to H4 practically unchallenged. Yeah, the Karelians are gonna steamroll you, but that was a great game. I love seeing Russia versus Sweden. That's not a matchup I see a ton. It's got a lot of, you know, kind of thematic effect to it. So let's look at this in more detail. Guys, follow me to the post game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the post game, and we see that the resources were incredibly close. The torp economy of Sheikh versus the superior vil count of Perez, but Sheikh just getting that little bit of an advantage, but not enough to be significant. I think it all plays out in terms of military. We see units killed here, 262 versus just 143 for Russia. Now, yes, Russian units are weaker, so you expect a lot more of the Russian units to die, but this sort of trading, even Russia can't sustain that kind of loss. And if we go to the timeline here, we go to the vil count. I mean, Russia took a very, very substantial lead quite early. Even got a couple of vil kills in, but then started losing vils himself. He lost, oh wow, he lost 8 here. And then he lost another, oh my God, he lost another 9, 10, 12 here. And at that point, he was on even vil count with Sheikh. And Sheikh had been established in H4 for longer, and Sheikh had more upgrades, and Sheikh had a better composition. And I mean, all of those things just added up for Russia. And when we go to the military unit population, yeah, it was getting really bad. 47 versus 40. And if you're Russia and you're below your opponent in population, that's just really not a good sign. But still, a great game. Thank you so much, Sheikh, for sending it in. Guys, if you want to send in your replay, no matter what level you're at, I would love to get it. So just find me on one of the many AOE3 Discords, or shoot me an email in the email for this channel, and I'd love to take a look at your game. But until then, guys, have a great day. Have a great life. See you later.